In tonight's WGN Investigates, complaints about unanswered calls at the state's Department of Employment Services continue to pile up.
Millions of dollars have been spent to bring in some outside help, but is it working? WGN's Lourdes Duarte was allowed rare access inside one of the call centers, part of a $12 million fix.
Everyone agrees that IDES, the agency in charge, was hit with a lot and all at once. In the last 3 months, millions of calls have come in, but only a small fraction of them were answered. Well, now some lawmakers are asking questions of the company brought in to help, and with it, an additional 300 employees. All this as the governor makes another move. He announced last week a new head of IDES, Kristen Richards, who's the chief of staff to the Illinois Senate president. She becomes the agency's new leader, and she'll have a lot to catch up on. Across the country, states can't deny the impact of massive shutdowns in practically every industry.
We both lost our jobs. Since it goes on for 2 months, I'm probably be crawling back to my mommy and daddy in Colorado, baby.
The U.S. unemployment rate hit 14.7% in April, a record high.
We had to let all of our employees go. The first thing I would like to do is get them all back.
State agencies tasked with helping the unemployed are overwhelmed. From California to Florida, the calls for help keep pouring in. But in many cases, the infrastructure and manpower to handle those requests isn't enough. Illinois hit with that very issue days into the state's stay-at-home order.
We must enact an immediate stay-at-home order for the state of Illinois.
The governor's fix, bringing in a private company, Deloitte Consulting, to fill the gap and get claims moving. The no-bid contract signed in late April worth $12.7 million. It called for Deloitte to hire hundreds of agents to help staff a virtual call center. But despite that effort, too many of the unemployed are still struggling to obtain benefits or even get someone on the phone. Have you ever gotten a live person, somebody actually picking up the phone and speaking with you?
No, never.
Alexis Bird from downstate Illinois applied for unemployment back in May.
For example, yesterday, I called 70 times.
Then there's Sherry Gray from Streamwood, Illinois.
I tried in 5 days. I had 400 attempts to get through on that 800 number in Springfield. Yes, it's true.
All those calls will eventually get you here.
Claimant Services, how may I help you?
Our cameras were allowed rare access into one of the IDES call centers. You would think it would look a lot busier, but most people are now working remotely.
Good afternoon, Claimant Services. This is Bertha. How may I help you?
Okay, hold on. It'll take a few minutes.
We were able to obtain some numbers to give you a better sense of a truly overwhelmed system. Between March 1st and July 1st, about 78.5 million calls came in. Of those, 393,000 were answered. Do the math. That doesn't even reach 1% of the calls coming in.
I do think that we need to learn from this experience. This caught everybody off guard, not just in Illinois, but every state in the nation.
Deputy Governor Dan Hines spoke with us one-on-one about IDES.
The people of Illinois who need their unemployment benefits.
He's tackled a lot of the issues from day one.
Well, I mean, I was there in the governor's office as we were making decisions to issue a stay-at-home order, to close down certain sectors of the economy.
He says all was done in a matter of weeks, sometimes days, which may help explain why an aging system just was not ready.
I don't know if you can, change technology in the office and hire hundreds of people and train them, which ordinarily takes a year, in those weeks. So I don't know if there's anything that could have been done. But again, I'm not trying to make excuses.
No excuses, but a lot of questions. For example, State Representative Terry Bryant still questions that Deloitte contract. She also points to this Auditor General report released last week, which details more than a dozen issues, from financial to equipment and paperwork at that agency. One of them is also cybersecurity. It says, quote, the lack of adequate cybersecurity programs and practices could result in unidentified risk and vulnerabilities. Combine all that, and Representative Bryant says there's only one answer.
A hearing where we can ask some questions of Deloitte. I don't think any legislators have been given the opportunity, and we can't get phone calls returned from Deloitte either.
She keeps trying. Meanwhile, Deloitte's contract runs out by the end of the year. What happens after that is one call they've been thinking about for months now.
In the coming days, we're going to be implementing a new phone system that will allow more people to, leave their information, get a call back.
That's just one fix for an agency that likely never expected to become the center of so many lives practically overnight.
What do we do when we were supposed to rely on the government to help us and we're just bounced around or we're ignored?
And in the last week or so, Alexis and Sherry were both able to reach someone at IDES. They didn't necessarily get the outcome they had hoped, so they continue the process. So far, Deloitte reps have answered 160,000 calls since May. We did reach out to Deloitte, but are waiting to hear back. I'm Lourdes Duarte, WGN News.